Velocity, morning, peace, and blessings. All right, just going a little deeper, going more into the fourth house situation, fourth house, fourth lord, and how it can be showcased in astrology. I'm gonna do a couple celebrity charts to really show how the fourth house, fourth lord is manifesting in the individual's lives, right? So we got Eddie Murphy, you know what I'm saying? As you can see, I'm gonna try to breeze through this shit. You feel me? Fourth house is Libra. Fourth lord is Venus. Venus is retrograde in Ashwini Nakshatra, right? So, what is the formula, right? The fourth house, what's present in the fourth house, what's aspect the fourth house is going to bring the field of activity and experience, the occupants. And the occupants or the tenants, you know what I'm saying? Your tenant, a person that you allow to live within the particular house or whatever, based off of their personality, based off of their compatibility with that particular household, is going to determine how well they're able to take care of the affairs of that particular house or that building, right? And how well they're able to maintain and add value to the property itself, right? Moon in the fourth house, that aligns. Moon finds directional strength in the fourth house, right? So Moon does a good service to the fourth house itself. So you know what I'm saying? This indicator alone can show that you know what I'm saying? This can show alone that in regards to fourth house things, experiences, and situation, the individual can definitely accumulate a lot of them in a good way, in a beneficial way, right? Moon loves the fourth. Moon is very soft. Moon is very intimate. Moon likes to drink milk or suckle resources and whatnot, wines and pleasurable things and comforts, and doesn't have to do anything, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't have to really try to step out and prove itself. Everybody just loves the moon. The moon is calming, it's pleasing, and in the fourth, it's just like being surrounded by, a large family that supports you and finds you funny and amazing, and you know what I'm saying. Money just flows in the best form of the world, right? Whatever. But okay, so fourth lord. What does fourth lord do? Fourth lord, wherever fourth lord is placed, this is the owner of the house. You know what I'm saying? This is the landlord. So this is the one who is actually with the mentality, okay, what am I going to do, or where do I go in order to, provide the resource for the house? You feel me? Like your landlord, like if something in your house need to get repaired, right? And you're renting or you're just a tenant, you feel me? That falls back on the landlord. So the landlord has to figure out a way to satisfy the needs of this particular house too, right? And based off of the landlord's placement, or based off of the lord's placement, is going to show how an individual goes about searching for that particular source of income, right? Being that this is the fourth house, is going to show that, how Eddie Murphy went about searching for security, how he went about searching for, comfort or acceptance, or the themes of the fourth house. You know what I'm saying? Searching for, nurturing, emotional openness. You feel me? Pleasures, resources, acquisitions, properties. You know what I'm saying? Surplus of dollars. How did Eddie Murphy go about searching it for this shit, right? So the fourth lord is Venus, is retrograde, and it's Sweeney, and it's in the 10th house, right? So, since a very young age, you feel me? I think like when he was like 9 or something, I got it in the fucking AI response or whatever. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Since he was like 9, you feel me? The nigga wanted to be like a comedian, you know what I'm saying? Comedian, that playful prankster aspect, that's definitely can be seen in a Sweeney, right? But he's more than just a comedian. He's an actor as well. You know what I'm saying? Which can manifest as the Venusian energy, right? He's an actor as well. You know what I'm saying? He even did a little bit of singing and rapping actually, right? Which can represent or which can stand out as Venus as well, right? You know what I'm saying? But so he went about searching for that comfort, those surplus of dollars, properties, acquisition, family, stability, support, and all these different things through the steadfast focus on this retrograde Venus in the 10th house. You know what I'm saying? The career, like wanting to build a public reputation, putting himself on stage, like at a young age, going to comedy clubs, putting himself in front of the public and pleasing the public. You know what I'm saying? Which is Venus. Venus is about pleasing. Venus is about bringing fun to others, bringing enjoyment to others. So he went about attaining the fourth house comfort through doing the 10th house work of, constantly showing up at the comedy clubs and whatnot. And you know what I'm saying? Constantly expressing, his different artistic talents. Not even just, well, motherfucking, comedy, but impersonations as well, like being able to capture those impersonations perfectly. And that's Mercury too, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a Mercury K2 conjunction in the 8th house or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? That plays into that as well. But the Venus is what got him, that retrograde Venus, that desire, you know what I'm saying, that attraction or whatnot for the public, for the stage, you know what I'm saying, for the plateau, for the public recognition, for the top ladder of the career or whatever you want to call it, right? This is what drove him, and this is what helped him to secure the multi-million dollars and to be able to support 10 kids and to be known as, you feel me, the great comedian, the great movie star that he is, right? Right, Eddie Murphy. Now, other aspects about his life. So how was his childhood, or how was his fourth house, growing up? Was it perfect? Not necessarily. As you can see, he got Saturn aspect is on the moon. Now, even though the moon has directional strength, it's being aspected by Venus, it's you still have to take into effect that the Saturn aspect is going to provide Saturnian themes to the moon's feelings. It's going to provide feelings of rejection, isolation, poverty, struggle, you know what I'm saying? Possibly imprisonment, being distance, or you know what I'm saying, knowing that you're different, or you know what I'm saying, rejection or disconnection from the parents or whatnot. These are all themes and archetypes of Saturn. And with Saturn placing in such a strong aspect on this particular moon, it's going to show that he's definitely going to have to experience rougher, tougher, struggle like themes of Saturn, right? But it's the 10th aspect. So you feel me? It's the aspect of well, Saturn period has the energy of I'm only disciplining you for your own good. But the 10th is definitely, you know what I'm saying, doing it to make an individual more resilient, So the 10th aspect of Saturn actually is what helped him propel even further to, the millions of dollars that he accrued in his career, right? And Mars is aspect the moon as well. Mars is trying the moon, right? It's like a 75% aspect, but it's a valid aspect nonetheless. And that Mars aspect the moon, it can add themes of abuse. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with abuse at some point within a lifetime. You feel me? Might be feeling like you're on your toes, or you might be threatened in certain environments, and the individual might deal with anger issues themselves and whatnot, or kind of feel like they can't necessarily rest or sit still, because when Mars hits the moon, it does takes away the moon's ability to really rest or feel comfortable. Like Mars is real energetic, and that kind of brings like a nervous, it kind of brings like a tense expression to the moon. Kind of brings like an individual that might have OCD, like motherfuckers who always gotta have some shit clean or some shit perfect, or always feel like they might always gotta goddamn do some shit and keep moving and hustling and bustling or whatever in order for peace to be obtained, or whatever the fuck, right? But yeah, what I said, abuse, themes of abuse, probably deal with anger issues and shit like that. You know, maybe a tense nature or erratic. You know, he was an energetic motherfucker, like Eddie Murphy himself. He was hella energetic. You know, he was, you feel me, hella jovial, which is good, you feel me? Which is great even. You know, that Mars, when it affects the moon as well, it definitely can make a person like extroverted and jovial, and you know what I'm saying? They can have a charisma about themselves, right? But so yeah, it could show that he dealt with all of these different archetypes in his own mind, personality, individual expression. So let's get to his actual, life situation and whatnot. So just to scroll through right quick, I say as a child, Eddie Murphy faced severe family tragedy, financial stability, instability, which coming from the Saturn, you know what I'm saying? Initially, abusive foster care environment, like I said, hidden struggles with obsessive OCD, you know what I'm saying? Parental divorce, you feel me? Just more trauma adding up. Father was murdered, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. I ain't say that though. Maternal illness, uh, cruel environment. Exactly like I said, and I should have said, that threats to the mother as well, because Mars aspect the moon. Moon is the mother itself. Early childhood OCD, compulsive rituals. Exactly, he would compulsively check the kitchen gas stove up to 10 times a night. Unable to sleep. Exactly, unable to rest. That's Mars. That's a combination of Mars and Saturn with the moon, or aspect of the moon. But you know what I'm saying. Financial hardship, social isolation, which is the Saturn aspect. Told him he was crazy. Uh, what else? But this is a good side as well, right here, right? So fourth moon, even though it had all the malefic aspects, it's still in the fourth house. It's still in the benefic sign, right? And it's still being aspected by a benefic retrograde Venus, and it's being aspected by Jupiter too. It's Gajah Kasada Yoga with Jupiter, so it's still going to produce, you know what I'm saying, good fruit. So you feel me? His mother was very good, very loving, emotionally nurturing, very motherly. You know what I'm saying, which is intensely important. To really have an acorn as a child develop into a tree as a full-bodied, a grown adult man or woman, right? And who's successful, who's able to tackle the world, who's able to feel like they got a strong foundation, or you feel me, like they're a complete person, and all these different archetypes, right? It's important. You feel me? That nurturing, your mom, you sucking the breast, or you sucking the milk out your mom breast or whatever, and the bonding stage, and you feeling that safety, that comfort, that security that seeps deep into the subconscious mind and whatnot. And it really sets the foundation for the individual throughout the life process. It at least gives somebody a great advantage, right? Let's say that. Don't necessarily have to say you had to had a good childhood in order to have a good adulthood, but you feel me? If you had a good childhood, it can give you a great advantage, right? Okay, and it say through their connection was deeply shaped by the trials they survived together during his childhood, which is kind of like Saturn aspect of that fourth. Again, it's like the trial, the tribulation itself was what refined him, or refined him, and made him even tougher, more resilient, and even more sensitive to his mother in different aspects, right? Solid family. After recovering, Lillian did everything she could to give her sons a stable upbringing. By the grace of God, she met and married Vernon Lynch Sr. He highly respected his mother's choice, says his pops. filling a crucial void in their lives or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like fourth house, it really brings happiness, you know what I'm saying? And, him having his ascended Lord in fourth house, you feel me? Despite all the malefic aspects, it shows the beauty and the blessing, the sukkah of the fourth house, you know what I'm saying? So let me do another person. So Albert Einstein, right? Fourth Lord debilitated in the 10th house. Not only that, it's with two malefics, Saturn and Sun, but it's with an exalted Venus, so it kind of like takes away from the debilitation, right? Now it's a lot going on here. Is an aspect by anything? I guess you could say it's trying K2. You know what I'm saying? So it's trying a malefic, and it's conjunct two malefics, and it's debilitated. Now, off the top of the head, fourth lord debilitated. This leads maybe, and especially because it's Mercury, you know what I'm saying? Instability in the housing situation. Maybe it's a lot of moving, you feel me? Maybe, you know what I'm saying, it's financial lack or uncertainty into the income at different stages throughout the life process or whatnot. Since it's Mercury debilitated in Pisces, this can bring feelings of despair, as it would in anybody, but especially for this particular ascendant, like the person doesn't know necessarily what to do. But Venus is present and it's an exaltation, so best believe the fourth lord being with a powerfully exalted Venus, this does not at all strip away the individual's ability to manifest, you know what I'm saying, the sukha, the comfort, the benefic beauty of the fourth house, right? You know what I'm saying? Plus the king sun is there, Saturn is there as well, even though they be malefics. So let's look at Albert Einstein's life, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even asked it if he moved around day to day. Like I just asked him like did Einstein move around like or whatever. But it says Albert Einstein did not constantly move day to day, but he did relocate several different countries and cities throughout his life for school, work, and safety. You know what I'm saying? He was a part of the Nazi Germany runaway nigga shit, right? He really was. You know what I'm saying? I forgot about that, right? You know what I'm saying? He lived in distinct, stable, multi-year chapters in places like Switzerland, Germany, United States. He spent his early childhood in Munich and later returned as a prominent professor in Berlin. Completed his schooling, attended university, served as a professor, brief period, you know what I'm saying? Albert Einstein experienced periods of significant financial struggle and structural instability early in his life. Though he achieved deep financial security later in his career. Right. You know what I'm saying? His instability was heavily driven by the macroeconomic and geopolitical chaos of early 20th century Europe rather than the lack of income. Unemployed graduate, graduating from Zurich Polytechnic in 1900, Einstein could not secure an academic teacher assistant position. Yada, yada, yada. Hand to mouth. 2 years, he survived on meager temporary wages, earned his financial instability, secured a stable job in 1902. So yeah, that's Einstein, you know what I'm saying? But that's just the generality of it. So doing the same thing I did for his Eddie Murphy chart, it's like fourth was present in the fourth, you know what I'm saying, was aspect to the fourth. It's kind of like, tenants or people that lend money, resource, experience to this particular house, right? And the fourth lord is like, how is the person going to go about providing the how is the person going to go about providing the resource, the capital that is needed in order to manage and maintain this particular house. Once again, you feel me? If you're a landlord, if it's a hole in the wall, you know what I'm saying, the roof collapse, or whatever the fuck, right? Some shit happened. You're responsible as the landlord to repair that. You feel me? And bring that structure back to back to code or whatever, right? So Mercury as the fourth lord, he's going to try to search for, you know, the money, the stuff that's needed in order to keep the fourth house in code, right? Now, how would Mercury search? You feel me? Based off of Mercury's personality, he's going to search through the intellect. He's going to search through, you know what I'm saying, the study, the academic. You feel me? And that definitely was all throughout his journey. You feel me? Him being a great scientist, you know what I'm saying? And he searched through Pisces. He searched through the 10th house as a career, you know what I'm saying? As like a lifelong goal of trying to climb a ladder of some sort. And he searched through Pisces, which is like universal quantum, you know, seemingly abstract higher mind conceptions that the normal human personality is not able to grasp or even know that exists. You feel me? Shit that you might as well call quantum physics or quantum mechanics, or a lot of this shit that Einstein was talking about. You might as well call it fucking magic. You know what I'm saying? Like you might as well, you feel me, to the common human personality, right? But he wanted to do it in a scientific manner, it being Mercury, like a logical, real detailed, duality based, programmer based search of some sort, right? And his fourth lord being Mercury itself would have had trouble doing it if it was just here and it didn't have the help of an exalted Venus, but especially if it didn't have Saturn as well, right? Because Saturn is going to do great in the 10th house. Sun is going to do great in the 10th house as well, but Saturn is doing even greater in the nakshatra of Uttara Bhadrapada, right? So he was looking for the universal search, and he's looking for, you know what I'm saying, how do I understand these different universal quantum field concepts or whatever in order to like land Nobel prizes and different jobs. That's some shit that he actually probably was looking for. Cause in that AI overview or whatever that I went through, the nigga said that he will promise his divorced wife the money from a Nobel Prize that he won. So he really was like he really was adamant about using this particular lane to gain security, right? Just to reiterate that. But yeah, with that fourth lord being conjunct Saturn, it's like I couldn't tell you how many years this nigga, or how many hours he probably was just studying and studying and studying and getting lost in studying, meditating on studying. You feel me? Like just being super committed to, you know, this higher mind science shit or whatever. The 10th house is definitely great. The fourth lord is definitely greatly supported, even though it's debilitated. You've seen the manifestations of the poverty, the erraticness. You know what I'm saying? Some of his theories or conclusions wasn't necessarily the most accurate and whatnot. He definitely came off as somewhat of a crazy individual. You know, just off of his appearance alone, which can be shown by that debilitated Mercury in Pisces itself. But you know, even through the downsides or the bad sides, the fourth lord is definitely greatly supported, which led to, you know, the later fame, recognition, and financial success.